This is Kingdom Chapter 826. It contains something rather unfamiliar, at least to certain fans, because these are the same people complaining that Shin should be having no trouble at all with anybody not named Hoken. This is clearly an amazing power scale. The Kingdom world holds a great emphasis on the concept of weight. No, not the size of the individual. The truth that some fans don't want to hear is that the entirety of Kingdom is completely centered around the mind-boggling concept of weight. To some, what happened this chapter was inconceivable, but to most, an immeasurable feat. Now, the future great General Shin will be known as the man who accomplished the first decisive blow in unifying all of China. Slaying Hakuoukoku here is no simple feat. With the battle for Han's capital not too far away now, Shin essentially sealed Han's fate as all but conquered. I brought up the concept of weight because it's done quite well in this chapter and arc, especially between Shin and Hakuoukoku. Most might say slaying Hakuoukoku was the best thing about it, but I say it's the fact that I'll most likely never have to say his stupid long tongue-twisting name ever again. Anyway, let's get straight into it. This chapter wastes no time with where I left off, with Shin and Hakuoukoku going at it. This is the duel that will determine whether Shin or Han will lose their vice commander. At no point in the duel, bar a single moment, does Shin not seem like he has the upper hand. Hakuoukoku can't do anything but succumb to blow after blow from Shin. Pause. No, Shin has the upper hand while still retaining the pupils in his eyes. This might be troll, but it is most likely indicating Shin not yet being pushed past his limits, as seen in Shin's previous duels with Rinko and Hoken. Hakuoukoku is taking these blows like a champ, as Negan from Walking Dead would say. 4 different times this man is taking it to the face. Pause. 4 different times without returning one single strike back at Shin. It was such a one-sided beating that Hakuoukoku was banished into a flashback. This travel back in time sends us to the moment before the current battle. On their horses, Rakuoukan and Hakuoukoku discuss the possibilities for how the Qin army will move. It is here that Rakuoukan predicts General Shin to be the one to make a move and not Toe. Shin wants a short and decisive battle, so it only makes sense for the younger Shin to act first. Rakuoukan offers to send Yoko to Hakuoukoku's wing when the time is right, to quickly take down Shin. Side note, I just thought this was really cool. Rakuoukan refers to Yoko as his lethal axe, similar to how Renpa would refer to Rinko as his flying spear. Anyway, as we all now know, this didn't work out in the slightest due to a nice performance from the Heishin unit officers. Finally. Nonetheless, a great general like Hakuoukoku, hailed as one of the malefic stars of Wei and Xiao alongside Rakuoukan, shouldn't struggle against someone who isn't even on the great general level yet, right? So Hakuoukoku almost takes this offering as a slight. Perhaps he finds it laughable to imply, a bit lightly, that he could somehow fall at the hands of General Shin. Moving on, something that I want to highlight is the subtle contrast drawn between Rakuoukan and Hakuoukoku. Rakuoukan affirms his fellow general that he does not think in the slightest that him falling to Shin is possible. Clearing up any implications, he rationalizes the offering as one that is necessary only because this battle is one that cannot be lost. This is sure to be a battle reminiscent of those in the past that threatened the existence of their kingdom, such as those led by Renpa and Gokei. Rakuoukan simply acknowledges that a perfect strategy is needed to best Chen. Nothing less than full preparation is required. If anything, looking closely, Rakuoukan tries to strike a balance between being rational and taking nothing lightly, while ensuring that everyone is calm and composed, including himself and of course a passionate Hakuoukoku. Here lies the contrast. Hakuoukoku states that it is impossible for them to lose. The fate of their kingdom rests on their shoulders alone. In other words, the weight that he carries will not and cannot be bested. This is a tough game to play against someone like Shin, who is carrying the weight of all of China on his shoulders. Bravado will not be enough to prevail. Again, Rakuoukan is rational, reminding Hakuoukoku that they have not fought in a single war in the last 20 years. Although they have trained for every possible defensive scenario, which is not to be forgotten, the Qin army possesses generals that are real deal warriors, that have been fighting in bloody wars during these 20 years. So rational from Rakuoukan. He emphasizes this despite Qin and their armies being filled with inexperienced soldiers. Rakuoukan even goes as far as recognizing that if they were to somehow fumble, it wouldn't be their lack of preparation but rather quality. The lack of quality in how the last 20 years was spent. At first glance, this might not make full sense, but putting it in simple terms, 20 years of game time will always best 20 years spent in simply going through drills. Learning from a life life-threatening battle trumps constant sparring. Later in the chapter, this contrast is made dangerously clear. But now, Hakuoukoku acknowledges Shin as the unknown factor. He is the X factor. This might be the first general besides Roboku to say, you know what, this guy is the main character. Shin rose through the ranks against all odds, from a single foot soldier all the way to general. As a result, his strength is unknown. To see this level of caution regarding Shin is awesome. He is slowly gaining that reputation and respect. It will soon go from fearing the unknown strength of a rising star to fearing inevitable defeat from the greatest general under the heavens. Furthermore, whilst Hakuoukoku is quite the stubborn fellow, Hakuoukoku states that it would be best to retreat and regroup rather than forcing it. I just know that being this rational must annoy Hakuoukoku so much. He instead takes these words as motivation. He's definitely thinking, my homie thinks I'm about to get whooped, huh? Like every unsuspecting friend. Hakuoukoku laughs it off. He knows he's about to get his ass beat by Shin. Before shooting to the current battle, Hakuoukoku and Hakuoukoku pretty much reaffirm that their weight will overwhelm the enemy. Their weight will overwhelm that of Toe and Shin? Hilarious. We're awake now. The battle at hand. Hakuoukoku takes a 5th blow from Shin. A 6th. It does not stop there. A 7th. It doesn't matter. In Hakuoukoku's mind, nothing would be worse than running away from this despicable invader. Said with the hardest R. He remembers the words of Hakuoukoku, but to hell with that. He will not heed them. I mean, with the contrast drawn before, it is obvious. Hakuoukoku has rationalized that he cannot afford to retreat here. He will not yield to Shin's power. I can't lie. Hakuoukoku and his words have moved me. But then I'm brought back to reality when Shin strikes him for an 8th time. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. That's what we thought. But Hakuoukoku exercises self-talk. There is a reason why he rejected all the invitations from other kingdoms. He rejected the path of heroism and fame for his home, all for HUAN. He chose the path of protecting his homeland. With this newfound weight, Hakuoukoku is finally clapping back with a devastating strike of his own. We are so back. Number 9. Nice. Where did all that weight go? Hakuoukoku isn't done. He laments on what would Shin know about the feelings of the people of China, about protecting their homeland from invaders. This could not be more ironic, seeing as the coalition was a thing and HUAN participated, but okay. Anyway, Hakuoukoku proclaims that he will not acknowledge Shin. This is no place to submit. Just saying, Hakuoukoku knows better. Hakuoukoku swings with all his might and takes a piece from Shin's armor. His glaive is traveling at full speed towards Shin's head. Not like this. This can't be where Shin falls. Of course not. Shin dodges and with his 10th and final strike goes out with a bang, cleaving Hakuoukoku in twain. What a beautiful sight to see. Truly a double spread for the ages. Everyone cannot believe it. It's crazy to think that seeing Hakuoukoku's lifeless torn off torso can cause unbelievable sadness for HUAN as it does triumph for Shin, and with a stroke of genius immediately orders the Kenba tribe, their fastest unit, to spread this news across the battlefield that Shin's vice commander, General Shin, has personally slain HUAN's vice commander Hakuoukoku. The Hishin unit cries out in victory, while those on the other battlefields, including KYOU and 10, are unsure whether or not it was our cries of joy. That is, until it was all but certain that these cheers were coming from us. On this day, KYOU 10 stopped sweating, and most of all, our nonchalant best girl KYOU let out a gentle smile, speaking of the greatest joy, no doubt. On this day, the unit is saved by Shin's decisive blow. If you made it to the end, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you thought of this chapter in the comments section below. Are you thankful that you will never have to say that stupid long ass name ever again? Is Shin now beating all the allegations? Is Hakuoukoku's head next on the list?